It's quite clear. Members of parliament don't want to go back to work. They're having fun, getting north of 80,000 rands per month. I mean, who would want to go back to work? The Speaker of Parliament, Thandi, said that, hey, it's time to go back to the parliament. And the DA as well as the EFF are saying, hey man, why don't we just go virtual, do this parliament thing online? So you can see you have public servants who are the people who are supposed to instill confidence into the South African populace by going to parliament, and it will be interesting for them to practice the social distancing in parliament and continue, leading by example, but they don't want to go. And the nice thing about being a government employee and at the same time deciding as to how much increase you are to get as a member of parliament is that you can still opt not to go to work and still get paid, unlike folks who are working at corporate companies. No work, no pay. And if these companies, which are being told to go home with the employees, where the companies then have to make means of providing the equipments for the private employees to be able to work from home and try to also make an income, you know, it's up to them. It's the same thing as other government employees who are then working from home, obviously, and still getting paid. Even if the economy starts to crater and starts to do worse, the first people who are going to be on the firing line are going to be your general government employee from all these different department, be it maybe the DTI, Department of Health, Department of Education, and so forth. Those are the first people whom their jobs going to be cut. I doubt that's going to happen, as you know that our GDP is eaten mostly by government employees because the government keeps growing. The government keep growing. I will not be surprised to see tomorrow the announcement being made that, hey, listen, I think we have to have the Department of Kindergarten or the Department of Crash, where then would have to have kids enrolling in crashes, having to register with the government, and then, because now we've got obviously primary school that belongs to the government, as well as high schools that belongs to the government, and that has departments. In fact, Department of Basic Education, Department of Higher Education, and now we just need Department of the Pekininis. And as a result, when that department is being built again, when they build a new department, what's going to happen? It needs employees. And then what sectors that employees going to be belonging to? The government. As a result, the government will grow, it will have more employees, and then more money will be needed from tax. So that's what's happening. And as a result, like I'm saying, when it's crunch time, those employees who are working in government, the one that I've just spoken about, would be one of those employees that are going to be losing their job, except who? The members of parliament. Why? Members of parliament are, they're making laws. They tell themselves how much they could get in terms of an increase. So don't be surprised when tomorrow you see the government having a bill to increase their salaries while they're still at home. So look at it this way. Thandi Modise at the moment, the Speaker of Parliament, is saying that the parliament or parliamentarians should come back to parliament. The DA and the EFF are simply refusing. And now, obviously, the DA, and the funny part of it is that obviously the ANC members of parliament, I mean, on average, they are over 6 years old. There are those people whom are supposed to be at home. when it comes to the COVID laws. They are the vulnerable society, but they're out there working. Minister Nkosazana Zuma, she's over 60. She's always on TV telling her peers, which are our parents, to stay at home because they are vulnerable, okay? And then you have the EFF, an average of youngsters, whom statistically we know that the virus is not deadly to them as compared to our pensioners who are working for the ANC parliament. But they're refusing to go back to parliament. They say that they want to go virtual, okay? They're not leading by example, okay? They're not testing waters, okay, with the disease. They would rather say that your ordinary people be the people who would go out there and check if the bees are out there stinging on everybody. And then if it's all nice and comfortable, then they will go out. Unless if they, maybe it's where there's some Black Lives Matters protest, then the EFF will go out there and protest by that time, because the virus, I guess it's woke. The virus will just say, hey, this is Black Lives Matter, so as a result, I'm not going to infect you all, guys. You're protesting for the right reasons. I'm not infecting you. Go protest. And then after that, they will be splashed on all these news publishing companies as well as our mainstream media to gain political leverage and to remain relevant, because the opposition's party's air has been sucked out by the daily or the after 3 days briefings of the members of the government, the cabinet. Basically, you have the president who would come and make an announcement, suck all the political air out of all other political parties, and then the relevant governmental departments tomorrow, the whole day, would then be doing their own briefing. Bekicelo will be out there with his favorite fedoras, wearing a nice hat, talking about how many nightclubs he invaded and trying to catch up people, and yeah, not to worry about the gender-based violence and so forth, not priorities. And then as a result, it's like a campaign, basically. It's like a political campaign. So the DA was going to court, every second other day. They also stayed relevant. One of the reasons why they're going to court, was understandable. But as more and more fear has been pumped into the airwaves, they caved in. Right? Now Thandi Modise says, guys, let's go back to the parliament. We'll just, I think the ANC members would be 50 up in there, because I understand the members of parliament are about 400. Don't know if because the government said that indoors activities, I don't know, because now we're on level 3, we're on level 2, we're moving up and down. The police can't even keep up with this regulations. You saw during December holidays, they were breaking what we normally called crickets. They were breaking the fireworks apart, saying that the president said that people shouldn't use fireworks, rather they should use candles, because the police and everybody can keep up with the law. So last time I checked, the government said that in terms of weddings, you could have maybe, I think, 150 people inside, or 250 people inside, and about 500 people outdoors. That later was moved from places where when you have to get inside, it should be 50 people. So now they're talking of members of parliament being in there, about 50 members. Maybe they will make it 50% and have 100 members of parliament in terms of their laws. But if not, they said that 50 could attend. So we'll see. So this is one of those hypocrisy of the tough talking politicians who go out on marches for social activity, brownie points, social justice warrior brownie points, go protest, and then tell people to stay inside their houses and pray and salivate and wish that alcohol be closed forever, and as well as at the same time um, hope that people will be indoors and get perpetual payment. I don't know which trees would that perpetual payment would be coming from, by the likes of the EFF, and at the same time also refusing to go to parliament. Like maybe if they go to parliament they'll get COVID, but if they get tens and tens of thousands of people outside to go protest, then they will get the virus, because the virus is woke. So that's just my take. My name is Mamuji, and thanks for watching the Mamuji Show. And I'm outie.